Women of Reddit, what things do men do that frighten you without them even realizing it? Women, when they emphasize that I don't need to be frightened of them completely unprompted. No easier way of getting me to be on my guard. A guy I'm seeing took me out to a baseball game for our first date. It was nice, I didn't get any weird vibes from him at all. After the game, he asked if I wanted to go see some of the spots he likes to go walking. I didn't think much about it until we got there and I realized he was basically taking me to the woods in the dark. He told me to follow him and I'm thinking I'm about to get killed, but it turns out he just wanted to show me his favorite place to go on walks and chill because you can see the entire city from there, and at night it looks really pretty. He took me to a couple more trails that night and I ended up having a great time and forgot that it's pitch black outside, and I'm with a guy I've never gone out with before out in nature. Definitely thought I was going to get killed at first though. What a bummer that moments like that are dangerous, because taking someone to a neat walking spot where you can see the whole city is like straight out of a romance movie. I'm a guy and following someone into the woods like that would scare the hell out of me. I walk in today, a guy on motorcycle pulled up on me 3x. I mean dude, if I don't want to engage, then don't follow, continue to pull over to meet me or whatever. Just happened to me last month with a guy in a car. I told him I was taken and he kept protesting and told me to think about it. Like, if I'm walking away from you and not talking, leave me alone. Like WTF, nothing makes me want to open up the Ola baby factory like a man yelling at me from a car window. Approaching while in a car and blocking our path with said car. Happened while I was on a walk so he could have parked, approached on foot, and maintained a respectable distance. It's not frightening, per se, but it definitely makes me wary because it could lead to situations that are frightening. When talking to a guy, he's super pushy. Like, asking for pics of this and that, and even saying no, they're stilly pushy. All that makes me do is not want to meet him. If he's this pushy via text/messaging, how pushy is he going to be in person? If he can't take no now, what are the odds he can take no in person? I once had a guy demand that I rank my sexual partners. I told him no. I told him I can't and I won't, dude, flew off the digital handle. I blocked him right then. I once had a guy demand that I rank my soul partners. Was he looking for recommendations? As in, did he want to fuck them too? Well, if you like twinks, Jake's your boy, but if you're looking to power bottom, I should introduce you to Doug. Pretending we're deeper friends than we are, being overly familiar and then acting like they have a right to you. Had a guy do this in college. When I told him he didn't get to dictate who I talked to, he spit his drink in my face. I barely knew him, asking personal questions that have nothing to do with why you are communicating in the first place. Example, getting my muffler welded and being asked by the welder, where do you live? How long have you lived there? Do you have roommates or is it just you? And about 30 more personal and invasive questions, so. Fu King. Uncomfortable, hovering. Don't hover behind me. That's one of the very few things that makes me nervous. Standing too close. How do you know if it's too close? I'll back up half a step, don't match it. I thought you wrote hoovering and I was so confused why a vacuuming man scared you. Blocking the doorway, especially during an argument. X did that and would make himself bigger, spreading his arms etc., so I couldn't leave the room. That sounds like he knew exactly what he was doing. Glad you got out of that one, pick me up. I'm short and have a slight build. It's not that I'm scared of them trying to prove how strong they are, I'm just terrified of being dropped. Gross. I'd forgotten about this. I was small in high school, and everyone would pick me up. They thought it was funny, then I got old and fat. No one wants to pick me up anymore. I used to pick up people like that, obviously if I knew them well. I am a pretty tall guy, 197 centimeters, but I stopped doing that because a taller person picked me up once and it wasn't fun. This is just how the tall people hierarchy works, you are the biggest baddest bitch till a taller person shows up and calls you small. One of my roommates one year was big. D1 college lineman big. 6 feet 6 inches or so, 300 pounds, he also did work part-time as a bouncer. 2 of my friends got into a fight. Me and another guy held one back as he casually picked the instigator up like they were a toddler and chucked him out the door. He was quite handy to have around. People that can carry 2 full kegs up 3 flights of stairs at once are useful. He usually only did one unless he was showing off. First date, didn't really know him. Comes to my apartment to pick me up. Invite him in and he proceeds to tell me how he is going to rearrange the furniture when he moves in. Back in the 70s I always picked up hitchhikers, picked up this guy, he gets in then looks at me and says, "You know you should really be careful about who you pick up." Guy I was living with. "I know you will never leave me because you can't outrun a bullet. I don't know why you're acting so cautious. If I wanted to kill you, I would have already done it." Said to me by a friend of a friend I was meeting because it was his first time in a foreign country. This one may be intentional, but it gives me the absolute creeps when men try to squeeze past me and lightly put their hands on me, especially my waist. I hate it. Just say, "Excuse me." Why you're so nervous? It's not like I'm going to rape you. If I wanted to do that, there's nothing you could do to stop me anyways. The thought hadn't crossed my mind until you brought it up unprovoked. 4 times, edit, copied from another comment I made further down to give context to the situation. Hung out with a guy I knew from back in high school that I hadn't seen in years. He is physically about 4 times my size and was acting a little strange. Trying to touch me / invade my personal space even after I had made it clear I wasn't interested in anything more than friendship. I was nervous and shaking like a leaf trying to figure out how to gently extract myself from the situation. What scared me more than anything was him saying things like, "Why you're so nervous? It's not like I'm going to rape you." I thought even though he was overly enthusiastic that I would be safe until he brought up how he wasn't going to rape me 4 times. Obviously, it made me feel like he must have been considering it. Ugh. Thank God I got out of that one safely. Years ago, I went out with this dude, and during snacks and a drink, it was pretty clear we weren't a good match. I politely turned down another round and thanked him. I put my bag over my shoulder and began walking to the bar to pay. Not more than 2 steps from the table the dude, yanks my purse strap and says, "What, no hug?" Really taken aback. I hugged him and shuffled quickly to pay and get out of there. As I was paying, I explained to the waitress whom I knew from another job that the dude was super creepy and asked if I could sneak down the back stairs. She let me go through and I rushed down the back stairs and then outside to my car. Breathing a deep sigh, I got out of the parking lot, and at the first red light at the corner where the restaurant was the creepy dude crossing the street. Without any hint of emotion, he whipped out a pen and wrote my license plate down on his hand. Never saw him again, that I know of. Wanting to take me somewhere isolated to be just the 2 of us on the first date. It's okay if we've been hanging out for a while, but not if it's the first time I see you in person. Whenever this happens, I come up with an excuse not to go. I just don't feel safe since I barely know the other person. But the worst part is when they try so hard to convince me to go with them. This makes me feel more and more uncomfortable. One dude wanted to take me out sailing on his boat as a first date. I explained I wouldn't be very comfortable with that, and he offered to bring his male friend along. No, that really doesn't make it better. Edit, this is my highest karma comment? Crazy. Loving all the comments, but just to save yourselves the trouble, Natalie Woods and the implication have already been thoroughly covered. Dennis, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. She looks around her, what does she see? Nothing but open ocean. Oh, there's nowhere for me to run, what am I gonna do, say no? Mac, okay, that seems really dark though. Dennis, no, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro. Mac, I think I am. Dennis. Yeah, you are. 'Cause if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no. The thing is that she's not gonna say no, she'd never say no, because of the implication. Physical intimidation. Standing too close to me or backing me into a corner and making me feel trapped. It puts me on the defensive so fast. Edit for clarification. I know some men do this intentionally, but many do it unintentionally. Often men don't realize just how uncomfortable or intimidated they can make women feel with their behavior and body language.